Gaffer, we spoke on Tuesday for a bit, but how's your week been in the build-up to Saturday?
Oh, it's been great. We had a good day of training on Monday. Some of the lads trained Tuesday, some played a little game against Luton, as everyone now knows. They've had a day's rest back in today, and it's FA Cup week, isn't it? So that's as much whether you're manager of Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea could go on, or whether you're manager of the lowest ranked club in the competition left. It's FA Cup weekend, and the magic of the FA Cup is very bright.
Considering where we are in the league table at the moment, how much of a priority will the FA Cup be this season?
That's a priority. I think anyone who doesn't value the FA Cup, I've always said, shouldn't play in it. I think we can all remember in recent times Manchester United withdrew because Sir Alex took them on a trip to South America. Shocking decision. And I think the value of the FA Cup was quite right for the restore. And I think probably Sir Alex, he is the best manager who's ever lived, so that was probably led to him that's what the club wanted to do. But the FA Cup is magical. It takes total priority for us this weekend, and it's great. We don't need to think about league points, how others are doing. It's just about ourselves on Saturday in a tough trip to Gateshead.
Is it nice to have that change of focus from the league to a different competition now?
I love the cups. I think anyone that doesn't should question what they're all about. I think we've got the FA Cup on Saturday. We have the Carabao Cup on Tuesday. We've got the Papa John's draw to be made soon as well. So 3 exciting competitions for us to be involved in. And of course, where you go in them can often define your season, whether it's for additional funds for the club and for the chairman to invest, or whether it's just for the feeling within the dressing room and the camp as you go through in these competitions, the opportunity to play the top level clubs is all great. It's a great feeling. So the only way we can make that happen is get a positive result at Gateshead.
You said earlier this week you went and saw Gateshead play on Tuesday night. What did you see from them?
Yeah, listen, they're a decent side. I think we can't say other than I think Mike Williamson is a young man who's played against my teams in the past, but he's done a good job. He's got some talented boys. They unfortunately lost the game from their point of view 2-1. Perhaps they were shade fortunate just to get away with 2-1 because they met a really good and big funded Chesterfield team. But I'm more interested in watching the game when they drew recently with Solihull, of course, last Saturday. They drew recently with Notts County. Listen, Notts County, Solihull and Chesterfield can all be comfortably in the top end of League Two. So that tells you the challenge we face on Saturday.
And just on FA Cup memories, I know throughout your illustrious career you've had a few. Which one sticks out for you the most?
I think there's loads of different ones where at Crawley when we beat Derby, who were from the Championship, we were non-league and we beat them in the last minute. Sergio Torres scored a goal. I think it was like the 93rd minute or something to win it for us. A magical moment. I can remember winning an extra time away at Swindon when Danny Wilson was the manager of Swindon. I think they were League One at the time. We were still non-league. Winning at Hull, who were in the Championship, were non-league. And that's the drama, isn't it? And no one can ever forget playing at home to Stoke City in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Crouchy got 2. I think Crouchy showed how good he was actually in both boxes. And we can never ever forget a day at Old Trafford where we should have beat Manchester United, but we lost 1-0. So some magical memories that are there forever.
And we've had our own, of course, beating Newcastle, scoring a penalty away at White Hart Lane. Do you think this group of players can go and achieve something similar to that this season?
Well, I think they can make their own dreams, can't they? Same as every club in the competition starts off with, make a dream, and how do you make a dream? You make it happen. So we have an opportunity to look after ourselves at the weekend, as tough as it'll be. Conditions won't be great. It's a very open and wide stadium. I've taken my teams there before. But we just want to make sure that we're in the draw. It's as simple as that, and then we'll take what comes. But the players have an opportunity to make their own memories, to make their own dreams, to tell their own kids, their own grandkids as they get older like I am. Then those clips and that footage will never ever go away.
And just finally, in terms of approaching the game, will your message be the same to players that would be in the league, or is it slightly different because it's against low league opposition also in a couple?
I think the only difference is you don't get a chance to come back, do you? You 46 league games. You lose. We lost away at Salford. We have 2 or 3 games thereafter to react quite quickly and get back on track. You have an off day in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Papa John's, you go out, don't you? It's cup tie football one-offs. So the message is we don't get a second chance. You don't get a second bite. You get one opportunity as a rule, and we get that on Saturday.
That's great. Thank you, Gavin.
I'm glad you said you really value the FA Cup, because I think it's one of the greatest competitions in the world.
So do I.
Do you still get that impression from the younger players who perhaps haven't grown up with sort of mystique that we did with it?
No, I think the people that you hear talk about how revered the FA Cup is the older generations, isn't it? Because the magical days. I can remember growing up as a wee boy in Glasgow, and my dad worked a lot in England in these times, but we used to drive to Dumfries to watch the English FA Cup final. If Celtic was not in the Scottish Cup final, if Celtic was in the Scottish Cup final, we'd be at the game. But if they weren't, then we'd come and watch the English Cup final. And that's when you just see how big the occasion is. We can all remember when you were the television cameras would be at the team hotels, they'd be waiting on team news, they'd follow the coaches to the stadium from the helicopters above, and the whole build up to what was the cup final. But I think certainly from my point of view, it's just a magical competition, and whatever happens on Saturday, that will always be my view.
Just moving on to, I've got to ask about North East football, because you've got obviously Gateshead this Saturday, Hartlepool next Saturday. What's your experience of teams from the North East?
Signing Paul Gascoigne. That's unique. No, listen, I think you only have to see. I've often said, like Newcastle United, and we pick the opposite end of the spectrum to Gateshead, but they're the same people, same part of the country. And I've always said they're like Glaswegians, where people afford a match ticket before they think about feeding the kids. It's a bit dramatic, but in many cases it's true. So it's a hotbed of football. I think it's been given this real surge by the investment into Newcastle United, how well Eddie and the staff have got the boys playing up there, and the results are coming. And there'll be a spin-off. There'll be a spin-off at Sunderland, there'll be a spin-off at Middlesbrough's and Hartlepool's and Gateshead. There'll be a spin-off. And in Gateshead in particular is a club that I've always liked going to. You get treated properly, they're good people, and they've got good owners that give their team a chance.
Is it a different style of football when you go there? I mean, is it more physical? Is it more gritty?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's like going to Scotland. And if people looked back in my time as a manager in pre-season, as much as the rest of my staff were all saying, let's go to Portugal, let's go to Italy, let's go to Austria, I've always wanted to go to Scotland. We've normally gone to Scotland, whether that be Crawley, Rotherham, Manchester, we've always wanted to go to Scotland because it's competitive, it's hard, it's physical. It's almost England v Scotland, and their heads up there, and the boys go up the road over the border thing. And I put the North East or the North of England very much like Scotland, so it would be no different to me saying I'll take a team up in pre-season to the North East, because you're getting real competitive football. So we're not under any disguise here that we're in for a real physical test on Saturday.
Did you ever have the chance to manage up there, or would you want to manage?
In the North East?
Yeah.
No, never. I think Leeds is not physical. But no, I never went to the North East clubs. But I think I've been to them all apart from one. So, and they're magical to go to. There's the people, the great, the passion. And you can see that from the night. The pride they have in their own football club. There's no difference arriving at the stadium LA or Riverside or and going to Hartlepool or any of these places. It's the pride at Hartlepool, and that is exactly the same as it is at the big clubs. So good people, but we want to go there and we want to progress in the FA Cup, and that's our objective on Saturday. But I watched them at first hand on Tuesday at Chesterfield, so I know how tough that will be.
You've had a full 3 week as well of training. That must have been a delight. Is any worries injury-wise?
No, listen, you've always got one or two niggles that you think, will they make the sheet on Saturday, or will they be 100% wholly available? But we're in good shape. We don't get it. We got the opportunity to get some players some minutes on Tuesday, which was great, and the others trained really well. So we have no excuses. We're training in the North East tomorrow, so we'll go nice and early, and thanks to our chairman, we prepare properly.
And the threat of the cup shock will be enough to sort of drive the players on to give the performance.
Well, I think, listen, there's one league difference, isn't there? There's no surprise if we play a club here at home in League One in the Cup, people think Stevenage can win. So if you're in the conference, why can't you think you beat a League Two club? you know, we were very fortunate, myself and Paul. We've been at clubs over the years that's taken many a scalp pile up, and we know what it means. We know how it feels. We know what it takes to do it, and we've no doubt that young Mike and his staff and his players will be thinking that on Saturday. But all we can ask is that the referee gets the decisions right against us as Forest. All we can ask is that there's not a 90 mile an hour wind down the pitch, which can change the game, which normally happens in the North East. It might be. But in reality, if we get fair doings, then we have to be good enough to beat Gateshead. It's that simple. But to beat Gateshead, we'll have to be our best. This ain't a case of Papa John's, we're making 9 changes and we'll go there and we'll play a system that we're not normally used to or different things like that. We're going there to win.